Like, this game just has so many little things in it that make me, as a, you know, wannabe game designer, very happy. Like
for sure. Like,
sort of window where you can still jump off of a speeding thing after it's stopped, and you still get the momentum as if you timed it right. Like, that is the kind
of...
like
Coyote time?
No, Coyote time is when you walk off of a ledge and still can jump after, like, a few frames. It's similar,
fair.
but it's different. Obviously named after, like, the old Roadrunner cartoons where, you know, you'd stay in the air for, like, a few seconds after running off of a cliff. Usually also hold up a sign that says, uh-oh.
Yeah, I've definitely seen all the... Well, I shouldn't say all. I don't know if it's true if it's all of them, but I've seen a good number of the classic Coyote Roadrunner cartoons.
I don't remember anything from any of them, but I definitely saw them as a kid myself.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where, conceptually speaking, like, the premise is one of those things that, you know, is the point of the show. Like, the Roadrunner tries to catch the Coyote never gets caught, but,
What? Excuse me?
Or, did I say it backwards?
The Coyote never gets caught?
The Roadrunner never gets caught. But yeah, besides that, I think like a lot of the individual gags and the like are not necessarily things that I remember too well. But if I had to say what I do remember, it would absolutely be like the fake painted, like, tunnel on a rock wall, which has appeared in a lot of video games as a nod to that.
I feel like the Roadrunner cartoons are old enough and classic enough that in our collective memory they've just sort of been distilled into tropes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
tunnel,
that
walking
is
off a cliff and then only falling down once you realize you're off a cliff. The, you know, pole falling down a large height, and then there's like an outline of the character, like in the ground, like a pole shaped exactly like them. Those kinds of things.
Oh, absolutely. I love how if you go far back enough in the history of any sort of medium, you will eventually find something that is considered a classic, where if you look in the comments or discussion about it, you'll find people going, oh, this thing sucks, it's full of cliches, and it's like, yeah, of course, it invented them.
Yeah. Like, even in music, like, the only reason that certain things evoke certain feelings is just because, you know, it was done before by something that, you know, influenced everything after it. Like, I feel like the James Bond theme is responsible for, like, the entire style of, like, secret agent music.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know too much on this topic, but I would imagine it in and of itself is probably inspired from something as well. A lot of stuff is.
Very likely. It ate my dash input again. This keeps happening. I feel like it's probably like the brief hit stun after I land on him, and I press it during that. And so, you know, because it's like time is paused for a few frames, I basically don't press it at all.
Wow. That's amazing. I wish you luck with this, by the way, if I haven't already. This is crazy.
It's a bit difficult.
And I had a friend once I knew in real life who was, like, definitely a really big music nerd, and he'd always like to point out, like, this was one of his favorite things to talk about, one of his favorite fun facts, and he often would forget that he'd not told someone it yet, so I heard it multiple times from him. But he liked to talk about how there are parts of compositions by, I want to say, either Dvorak or Mahler, one of the great 1800s romantic composers, that are pretty much stolen verbatim. Well, I don't know if verbatim's the right term with music, but we'll roll with it. It's stolen verbatim by John Williams when he made the Star Wars soundtrack.
Wow.
Like, just musical motifs that he took basically the exact idea and just sort of slightly remixed it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's certainly something. Although, congratulations on getting here.
This is gonna be, like, impossibly difficult.
Yeah, especially since you have to do it twice.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what the timing or location of the final jump is, since the one keystone is, of course, going to move.
I didn't expect to actually make it, so I wasn't prepared.
That was a wild skip.
Really, I've never died that way before. That's a new one.
That was something. Oh, for sure.
That was too fast that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oshira is difficult to deal with.
Oh, for sure. He is a unique bastard.
For sure.
Makes sense that, of course, the Seaside would make heavy use of him.
Remember the part of the B-side where C-side where he just didn't appear at all when we weren't sure if he was going to appear?
Oh, absolutely. Well, now he has.
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of these Seasides, it's like, oh, here, have a couple of rooms that are just, like, extra challenging, but now have a really long room that tries to mix all the mechanics of the level together.
Yep.
We have the timing, we have the frequent use of recharge diamonds, we have Mr. Oshiro. All the things that make this... All the big things that make this level unique.
For sure.
Guess the only thing that's really missing is the, like, platforms that when you stand on them, they go down. The first couple rooms had those.
True. Too late. I thought I could grab onto that ledge.
Ooh, nice.
Ah, there's no way I could save myself.
The timing. Yeah, the timing on that was just unfortunate. Of course, Oshiro was going to do that. Honestly, I think this might be the first Seaside I've really seen you struggle with.
Just you wait, I'll struggle on plenty more as we start to get into the Seasides.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet a lot of stuff like bouncy clouds and stuff are gonna make Golden Ridge a pain.
God,
you're probably gonna have
Seaside's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to deal with the demons in the Mirror Temple, the Seekers, and that's gonna certainly make that unique, as well as the red bubbles and stuff. And of course, in the Crystal level, you're gonna have to deal with battling the things that you slam in to get them move, and your favorite, the bumpers.
Fun.
And of course, the core is going to have those, you know, like lava-ice switching physics.
Was that mechanic all that difficult, like, just conceptually?
Like
everything else
but
you
it is
named.
the thing that
I mean, that stuff could be pretty hard, but I don't know if the switching itself in that level was what made it hard.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably the return of the bumpers that you liked the least in that level.
True.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice. Oshiro's such a dumbass.
Gonna be a pain.
Oh, for sure. I've never been a big fan of situations where you're forced into using Oshiro for a jump. Like, when it comes to the strawberries and such, yeah, I mean, fine, I get it. Like, it's a bonus, that makes sense. But these sorts of situations, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Again, it very much feels like, for the most part, you're just subject to the whims of Oshiro. Like, what cycle, what point in the cycle is he going to be on when you get to X point? Well, somewhat predictable, but at the same time, in the heat of the moment, it's difficult to really track. But when you actually need to use him, then that's a different story.
Yeah. Ooh.
Nice save.
Okay. Oh god, okay.
Ooh. Yeah, that was close.
I wonder how
Yeah,
I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah, I would definitely.
So close.
Not. Yeah, I would definitely play around with his timing like you were doing, get a better feel for it.
Yeah. That's what I gotta do, basically.
Yeah, I think my, description before say that this is a bit like Geometry Dash when you do these C-sides, where it's just like, oh look, you have this insanely long level that you slowly get to know the early parts of better and better is certainly very true here.
Yeah.
So you're getting these early parts down really well, flawlessly, but it's like a timing hurdle, so it's not surprising that it's not always perfect, but...
Oh my god, I can just jump over that.
That's crazy.
That's good to know.
Yeah, especially since it gives you one more place where you could theoretically mess up and still recover.
True. Well, how Oshiro can act as a replacement for the diamonds in some of these early sections.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I don't even need to grab the diamonds sometimes when I'm still chugging along.
I feel like it's gotta be a thing that some mod creator out there has made a version of Oshiro that doesn't give you a recharge when you bounce on his head because they found that it was annoying for whatever they were trying to design.
Probably.
Like, damn it, I need the player to have to hit this diamond, but I want Oshiro here.
Ah!
Aw.
I couldn't climb up and then jump quickly enough.
He's such a timing-specific being.
Oh, sure, it's just annoying.
Yeah, no doubt.
Damn it. Kinda rushed that because Oshiro was coming back.
Yeah, he might be a well-designed mechanic, but that doesn't stop him from being sort of annoying.
Doing that one a little bit too fast.
Indeed. So, Grayson, is this your first recording session of 2015?
What did you say?
I asked, is this your first recording session of 2015?
Ah, yes. My first recording session of 2015.
Wait, what? Oh, God. Let's just pretend my brain didn't.
I
do
was
that.
so sure. I asked you what you said and you repeated it, so I was like, oh, okay, he's making an intentional joke. Good to know.
Ooh, close save.
How?
You're so close. I would hang there a little longer and try and get a bounce off of his head into the gem.
But there's a diamond there, so like how am I supposed to get the diamond and bounce on his head?
That's a damn good question. Anyway, so Grayson, is this your first recording session of 2025?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
But yeah, like I was so sure, because you repeated it when I asked that it was an intentional joke, but it wasn't?
No, somehow my brain just repeated its same mistake. I think it's because I was looking at the bottom right-hand corner of my screen where it's got the date, and I was looking at the 15 because it's the 15th of the month, and my brain thought, 2015, yes, absolutely, that's what year it is.
Naturally.
A year when Celeste didn't even exist, so you certainly would not be playing it.
When did it come out?
2018, if I recall correctly. I think very early in the year. If not early 2018, very late 2017. Ooh, close. Never mind.
I can't climb up because there's a little ledge on there.
That's bullshit. They do not want the player to recover from that, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice.
The slowdown threw off my timing.
I can understand why. You're getting really good at that first part, though, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm starting to get it down. I need to go basically as fast as I can for the first two, and then just wait a second for the last one. Oh my, you're kidding. At least I can just climb and bounce on him automatically.
Yeah, that area is a little forgiving.
I wouldn't say that area is
timing for the
forgiving,
whole-
just that I can recover if I need to.
For sure. Well, you have to understand this, since this is a seaside, anything you can recover from is a forgiving point.
I feel like Oshiro cancels it out.
Yeah, that's fair. He's such a piece of shit. Look at him running around like a crazy man.
Those things going in a circle are really hard to get through.
I would believe it. I think I always struggled with them back in the A side, even. Certainly a frustration for the C side. Oh! Nice.
Oh god! I tried to dash it last second, but it didn't work. I was too late.
My guess, actually, after looking at it better, is that the idea is for you to grab the diamond, dash up, and then go into an Oshiro bounce.
That sounds impossible.
Yeah,
I need to break
like
out the task tools in order to do that.
Yeah. Screw you, Oshiro. Nobody likes your hotel anyway. I thought for sure you were gonna fuck that one up. Very nice. You also got really good at fixing fake bounces there.
I was going up. How did that not work? It usually does.
This because he's a smelly hotel owner.
I was so sure I was gonna mess that up.
Understandable. This whole thing is crazy.
A little bit ridiculous.
Yeah. This is how it feels to play Geometry Dash.
God, that was a bit too early.
Speaking of TF2, what character from TF2 do you think would enjoy Celeste the most?
Good question. I don't know how many of them would actually like video games.
Yeah. Honestly, it's hard to say, especially considering the fact that all of them were born quite a while before video games were a thing. Not to mention the fact that I can't really imagine most of them living to their old age enough so that they realistically would get the chance.
True. I mean, honestly, they probably have video games in the TF2 universe. I mean, Australia in, like,
Yeah,
the
good
80s
point.
was, like, some sci-fi, like, future utopia.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is TF2 supposed to take place in the 80s?
I don't know, 70s or 80s. I know that Scout dies in 1987, canonically.
Ah, fair. Well, the 80s do, at the very least, have some video games, so I guess it's theoretically possible, especially, like you said, after bringing Australia into the mix. I was assuming it took place in, like, the late 60s, 70s, but I guess I was wrong.
I mean, maybe. Again, I don't know for sure. I just know it can't take place any later than 1987, because that's when Scout dies. Canonically.
That's fair.
Which, anyone who doesn't know TF2 lore is gonna think that's so fucking weird. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Australia specifically was like a future utopia, and Scout canonically dies in 1987.
Yep. Perfectly normal thing.
Yep. Also, rocket jumping was invented before the stairs. Just as a fun fact for anyone who thought that previous point was already baffling enough on its own.
Oh, for sure. Considering how much this platforming resembles a little bit some of the things that this soldier can do, maybe the soldier is the answer to the question.
You know, yeah, I could see that.
The game that has his sensibilities. You know, besides the fact that Madeline doesn't really have interest in killing everyone.
Oh,
my
God.
God.
If I waited, like, a second, half a second maybe, before dashing, I would have hit it. But I missed it.
Yeah, but honestly, I definitely think that's the way to go, though. Ignore the stupid diamond.
Yeah, I think bizarrely that's what I have to do.
Yeah, the diamond feels like a fake out. Although I guess it's possible that the point the diamond actually is supposed to serve is it's supposed to be a way to refuel your climb meter if needed. Like, it might be that you need to catch Oshiro at a certain cycle and you don't have it right, and so you can jump into the diamond to reset that dash meter.
Maybe?
You just wait a little longer.
It doesn't feel right for some reason.
Maybe not. Well, that's just my guess, is that it's meant to be a thing so that you can stall a little longer if you need to catch Oshiro at a different point in a cycle.
Speaking of cycles, I just couldn't do that because I was not at the right point in the cycle. Yeah, so these mechanics are definitely frustrating.
Oh, for sure. It's a well-designed game, but that doesn't mean that it's not without some things that are genuinely agitating.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to create difficulty without some level of frustration. That's an art that is not easy even for the best game devs.
True. It's like, I always argue for stuff like quality of life and, stuff like that, but I watched a video recently that I honestly can't entirely disagree with, where Josh Hayes argued that quality of life and convenience get in the way of adventure.
Yeah, he's not entirely wrong, especially in MMOs.
Yeah, it's like...
Like, I imagine he's talking about things like quick travel and stuff, because I think I might
just
have
teleport
the
to the dungeon
about.
and use the group finder to find a group automatically. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I can say as someone who has played MMOs many times over the years, yeah, frankly, I kind of agree with that take. I think there is something to be said for the enjoyment of traveling, in the world. Like, I think that, some level of quick travel's not bad. Like, for example, I think that being able to quick travel to another, continent isn't a bad call. I don't think you need to go through some long-ass, grind every single time to, get back somewhere that takes ages to get to the first time. But I think that as far as like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, travel like these 20 minutes on foot versus instantaneously being there, there is some charm to that travel.
True.
I can say when we were playing Realm that while I certainly did appreciate being able to teleport straight to, the Godlands and whatnot, I would also say that at some level, just walking there had its own charm too, that sort of disappeared once we were able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that for myself, I'm in favor of, like, a regional teleport. But of course, at what level of granularity you choose to describe regional, that's always the question, right? Like, what qualifies as a region is going to be different in everybody's minds.
Yeah. I think, I haven't played the game in a long time, so I could be wrong with how this works, but I think something like what I think I remember RuneScape has is good, where to teleport most places, you need to actually spend resources to, craft a teleport thing. But you can set a particular location as a sort of home teleport, which, oh my god, yes!
Yeah! Nice!
Finally.
That's beautiful. That was a good run.
Well, thank you.
Very satisfying watching that.
Oshiro lined up in a way that was useful there. I was just kind of hoping and praying.
Yeah, seems it took you 51 minutes. Not bad at all for something like this.
Yeah, just briefly to finish my thought, like, you can set one place as like a home teleport, which is free, but everywhere else you want to teleport to, you have to spend resources.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely a reasonable way to do things. I definitely would say that the caveats I would add, and I don't know RuneScape well enough to know if these are, caveats that already exist, are, one, that you need to make sure that these resources are actually somewhat difficult to obtain, and two is I would say that they should not be the kind of thing that a person can just get from other players or from the market, because some player who has like $1 trillion gold is just going to go buy out the market of like thousands of them and never have to think about it.
To be fair, I think by the point that you do have like a ton of money and can just buy the resources in whatever amount that you want, like, the adventure of walking from place to place is probably already worn off.
That's certainly a fair point. I guess it depends on what kind of player you are. Anyway.
Yeah, I haven't really played much of the game, so I really don't know how other people feel about that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I think, at the very least, being able to set, like, a favorite place and have a free teleport to that place is a good idea, and I think that at least that should be a thing.
I would agree. I would agree. Anyway, yeah, you did it.
I
You
did
did
it.
the seaside. I assume since our friend is available, we probably don't want to do anything more for now, but what do you think you're going to do next time? Do you think you'll try another seaside, or do you think you'll do a strawberry, or do you think we'll start farewell?
Like another seaside. I
Nice.
think
Probably.
I'm not gonna go super crazy on like the golden strawberries because, I
Mhm.
can't imagine getting it for that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be brutal, absolutely brutal experience because you'd have to chain that final room with the first two.
Yeah, it's like I got the golden strawberries for, chapter 2 just because I love that one. But a lot of
Mhm.
these levels are a bit too much. Like maybe I could get the one for the seaside on Celestial Resort, but I feel like the A and B sides would be much too annoying. And I don't know,
Mhm.
when choosing between doing a new seaside or throwing myself at this one even more, I'd rather just see a new one. I
Yeah,
would
I
like
agree.
to
Honestly,
I would like to get all the seasides done, and then, after I'm done with all those, try out Farewell, because I am
mhm.
curious to see what that one is like, what madness lies beyond that level, what
Yeah, honestly,
hell I'm going to go through trying to get even a fraction of the way through Farewell.
Yeah, honestly, at some level, I think doing these seasides is very good training for it.
Oh, for sure. Like, Farewell
You're
is
gonna
the
need
ultimate challenge,
everything for
so
them.
you might as well do every other challenge before that, within
For
reason.
sure. Like, it does not get around. Farewell is by far and away the hardest thing in this game, and not even by a little bit. Farewell is kind of its own training for itself, too. It's incredibly long and starts off kind of on par, like I said, with the B-sides, and very slowly ramps up the difficulty till it's far beyond anything you'd find anywhere else in the game.
Yeah, just look at the jump in number of deaths. Looking
hmm
at the normal death counts, I feel like it is somewhat proportional. Like, chapter 3 is where things start to get real.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's absolutely true. And we're starting to get towards some of the harder levels here. Like Golden Ridge is going to be a curiosity. If nothing else, just because you get to listen to the music you hate so much again.
Oh god, yeah, that is next. Oh boy.
Y- yep. Although, granted, you could always, choose not to listen to that and put something else on if you wanted to. It's
That's
not
part
like
of the
you have to
experience.
listen. True. You gotta be driven nuts by the level design and by the music.
True.
There are some people who do like that song. I
I'm
feel
sure, and
neither
there
here
are
nor
actually
there
people
about it.
who think that that chapter is where Celeste peaked, and I do not agree with that in the slightest, but there are people who think that.
There are a lot of things I do like about Golden Ridge. I do think there are some very curious design decisions there that I do actually rather like, but it is certainly from a level design standpoint not my favorite level. I'd have to actually think about which level I like the design of the most. Might be either the core or Old Site, frankly. I think that they have some of the strongest design principles in them. I do like the Mirror Temple a lot too, though. I think the Mirror Temple does do a really good job with a lot of its
Oh yeah.
mechanics and does play around with a lot of fun ideas.
I will say that the Seekers are probably going to be just as annoying as
hmm
Oshira was in that last room, but it depends on how they're used. I feel like I remember like the B side having like a segment where you had to like jump out into the abyss and then bounce on one of them, and that part gave me some trouble. No doubt they're gonna do something like that in the seaside.
For sure. I don't remember the Seaside at all, despite having, seen people play on YouTube all the levels out of my own personal curiosity for what the entirety of them looks like. I don't really remember it, so this isn't me, pulling from anything, but it wouldn't even surprise me if, they didn't have you, chained together, jumping off two of them at the end or something insane. That feels like the
God,
kind of thing they do.
I don't even know how you would line that up.
Be a
Maybe
good
it could
question, wouldn't it?
be possible in the level where you're expected to hold right the entire time so that, it happens to line up
Hmm.
based on the consistency of moving forward constantly.
Certainly possible. Hmm.
I'm very curious what the seaside for the summit is going to look like.
Yeah, I think that it's certainly interesting, as are, a lot of these.
I'm sure.
Curious to see what you think about all of them. But of course, more than anything, I'm very, very curious to see what you think about Farewell.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Farewell is a curiosity. I think it has some of the best designed rooms in the entire game, but they are also absolutely brutal. Like, it is just consistently, oh, that's clever. Now, how the fuck am I ever gonna pull that off?
Yeah, I imagine.
Honestly, at some level, I would also say a lot of levels in Farewell are almost puzzles as well. Like, they present you with a room, and it is not at all obvious in the slightest when you first look at it how in the world you're supposed to, do it. And really, the only way to, figure it out is to play around with the mechanics until you get some sense of what works and what doesn't.
Makes sense to me.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that Farewell is going to be an interesting time, and it'll be interesting to see whether I can possibly beat it or not. Like, I feel like if I want any hope at doing that, we'll need to just start devolving into like multiple hour long videos just being uploaded without any editing because I don't know if I'd be able to stay sane through like hours of attempts at Farewell, like editing the videos afterwards.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't even know if there's, like that many hours worth of stuff the two of us can talk about.
Drew, I may have to bring on some more people, who knows?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Like, I think at some level, some of the stuff in Farewell is very much in, like, a just have a podcast territory. Especially, like, I don't think it's too surprising or much of a spoiler to say that the last, like, room of Farewell is pretty much a seaside unto itself. And I think that will
Damn.
be a place where we spend a lot of time. A lot of time, should you ever get there.
I bet.
Like, I think I
Yep.
heard some guy say it took him like 4 hours from first getting to that room to beating it.
Wow. Just that room, huh?
Just that room, the final room of the Farewell.
How many hours do you think it takes someone to just beat it in its entirety? Like, from first trying it to beating it? Like, do we have any sort of testimonials on how long it takes people?
Well, let me see if there's any sort of information on this.
I feel like we'd
Let's
have to know
see.
just purely because the game tracks how long you spend in each level on this screen here.
Here, there's a person who said did a Reddit post asking people how long it took them to beat Chapter 9, which of course is, Farewell. And here's some different things. The person who posted it says it took them roughly 8 hours. One person named Smurf Bomb says it took them 11 hours. Um, Enzo Ferrario says it took him 12 hours with 3,500 deaths. A deleted account says it took them 13 hours with 4,300 deaths. Brew Metal says it took him 19 hours with 7,700
Damn.
deaths. Tilt a Lot says 7 hours with 2,600. Enzo, oh, he already commented. Parrot Dash says it took him only 4.5 hours with 1,200 deaths. Must be someone who did a lot of challenges prior to its release, I would guess. 8 hours. We got a 7 hours person, 10 hours. Yeah, it definitely seems like the average is tending around 8-9 hours, I'd say.
That is fair. I mean, I did spend like 6 hours on that other really challenging thing that I beat recently, so who knows?
That
Maybe
is fair.
there may yet be a chance if it only takes like 8 or so hours, like what some of these people said.
Yep, of course, there's the one person who said it took them nearly 20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
I don't know. With the other numbers you gave, that one feels like an outlier.
Absolutely.
I could maybe see 12 hours if it's really, really difficult and the people who said 8 are just really, really good.
Yeah. Well, we will find out, or we won't. We'll see how it goes for you.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Mhm.
I do certainly want to try at the very least. I'll give it everything that
Understandable.
I have, and if everything I have isn't good enough, then oh well.
Yeah. It's the hardest challenge you can face in Celeste without mods.
True.